Hey folks, so I know I said that I wouldn't be making drama videos here on this channel anymore, or at least interpersonal, idiotic creator stuff anymore, but I did also leave an exception there for if there is a pressing need to deal with lies and slander against me, which in this case, well, there very much is. So I just learned that there is this random YouTuber, Shark300. I'm not going to call him that again. Google says that his name is Chris, so I'm going to call him Chris. So Chris just seems to be a pretty generic Xanderhal clone. Yeah, it's just a Xanderhal clone, you know. What I'm concerned with is this. So he randomly posts on Twitter saying about me, you know, I heard that he actually moved from Australia to Argentina to escape sexual assault charges. Not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. This is the thing that Aristocracy made up a couple of months ago. So yeah, someone outright accusing me of rape, a guy who I've never heard of. He doesn't really seem to create anything of note or any originality or anything, just kind of seems to be one of the reacting in the corner guys. Yeah, so pretty heinous claims there. Pretty serious claims too. So I asked in my Discord, does anyone know who this guy is? Like, why might he be saying this? Why might this guy I've never heard of just like suddenly be coming at me out of nowhere while making some extremely damaging and obviously not okay sort of made up claims about me? And apparently there's some pretty vile stuff about him out there, which might explain why he's suddenly projecting these sorts of allegations towards other people. So I was linked this screenshot of a tweet that he apparently made. It since appears to have been deleted, but in it he admits to being a convicted sex offender who solicited children. Wow. And he goes on to say that that doesn't mean he shouldn't be a leftist streamer. It doesn't mean he can't contribute to advancing leftism. That's all in the past now. Leave me alone. I mean, man, that's really something. Now, of course, not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. Not confirmed, you know. It's not confirmed, but it's worth keeping in mind. I really think you should just keep it to yourself, okay? Just keep it to yourself instead of trying to project it onto other people. Again, you know, not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. Then later, I was also linked another tweet that he apparently made around that same time, 3 or 4 years ago. He posted, of course child porn shouldn't be illegal. Dude, I'm not sure about that one. He goes on to say, for one, it's kind of harmless. For two, it's just like buying a computer. I don't think either of those things are true, man. But again, not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. Not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. This one, though, it does seem to have, you know, some reason to suspect that it's probably true because he's gone on to reiterate that he does agree with the content of this tweet. Very interestingly, he posted this in response to it. So here he says in response to that second tweet screenshot, I hurt this guy's feelings so bad. Not only has he been up all night crafting fake tweets, so clearly trying to claim that this tweet is fake here, but also has taken the pro-child slavery in developing countries position to try to own me. Some leftist. So that seems to be like he's saying the tweet is fake, but he nonetheless agrees with it. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's saying here. He's saying that if you don't agree with what this tweet says about child porn not being illegal, that it's kind of harmless and that it's just like buying a computer, you are pro-child slavery in developing countries. And apparently that means you're not a leftist either. There's no other way to really interpret this. Like he's saying that the tweet isn't real, but he nonetheless agrees with it. So, in my book, that's probably a good reason to believe that the tweet is real. It might as well be real if you're just going to be agreeing with it as if it was. You know, if the tweet is fake and it says, of course, child porn shouldn't be illegal. For one, it's kind of harmless. For two, it's just like buying a computer. If that's a fake tweet, I think the correct move there is probably to say that it's just a fake tweet, not saying it's a fake tweet, but I agree with it. And if you disagree with it, you support child slavery and you can't be a leftist. He then replied to a response from someone else who said, what? It's a fake tweet based off the Vorsh argument. What's the logic of faking a tweet whilst also giving context in it that you literally would have to agree with to be a leftist? You would have to agree with this to be a leftist? Are you fucking kidding me? You have to agree with the idea that child porn shouldn't be illegal, that it's kind of harmless, and that it's just like buying a computer? That's not even all. This shark guy, this guy Chris here, replies to that agreeing with it. He says, the only explanation is apparently that you've got the taste of Borges' dick stuck in your mouth and you're not a leftist. That's the only possible reason that you would disagree with this tweet. That's the only possible reason. I don't even fucking know, man. How would you explain someone thinking this is a good way to respond here? Now, I was, of course, saying before this, not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. But now I think it kind of is confirmed that he actually does think this because he's expressed agreement with it twice while literally saying that you can't disagree with this and be a leftist. So pretty clear that he agrees with it. I don't even need to say not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind. Confirmed. Confirmed. What the hell, man? Who thinks this is a good idea? I absolutely can't believe it. I do not understand how you could think that this is a good idea to be like, I didn't say that, but it would be fine if I did. And if you disagree, you are pro-child slavery. Oh my God. I would absolutely love for this guy to come on stream and try to argue this. Try to argue that child porn shouldn't be illegal because it's kind of harmless and it's just like buying a computer. That would be just incredibly funny. Of course, he's going to be afraid to do it. And since he's going to be afraid to do it, there's not really much of a reason for me not to just, hold my cards. The argument against this is so obvious. It's so obvious. I've already gone over it a number of times on the channel because for some reason it keeps coming up. I guess I'll go over it again here. It's sad that I need to, but again, there's no reason not to. There's no reason to, hold it back because he's obviously too afraid to come on stream and actually talk to me about this. So look, child porn, a computer, are these two things the same? No, they're not. They're not, okay? One of these things is absolutely, completely socially necessary for the running of modern society and for many, many people to operate in their assigned role within modern society, okay? Child porn is not. No one needs child porn. No one. So on the consumer level, the societal level, these two things are already extremely, extremely different. And when we get to the level of the actual product being made, which is where this guy seems to be trying to make his argument that they're the same, because apparently they're both child slavery. Now, look, one of these is child sex slavery, where the exploitation is literally the product. The abuse, the exploitation of the child, the sexual assault, the rape of the child, that is what you're consuming. Now let's look at what he thinks is a valid comparison here, like exploitative or slavery labor conditions for people who are extracting the materials that are eventually made into a computer. One, is the abuse or the exploitation literally the product? Obviously not. Already the argument is completely destroyed. For two, would it be possible for this product to exist without that exploitation? Yeah, absolutely. The vast majority of the tasks which child laborers are forced into under capitalism could absolutely still conceivably be undertaken in a non-exploitative way. You can have miners who are not literal child slaves extracting the minerals. Instead of the literal child slaves, you can pay them more. Or you can have a co-op, or you can have a communist society or a socialist society or something where the miners aren't child slaves. They're not doing it because they are literal slaves. Okay? So it's not the extraction itself that is immoral and wrong and criminal. It's the way that it's undertaken under the capitalist social relation. This is obviously not the case with child pornography. With child pornography, that exploitation is the product. When you buy a computer, you're not buying the computer because you want to watch the kids being exploited and abused as slaves. When you buy child pornography, that is exactly what you want. Drawing an equivalence between these things is so absolutely heinous and disgusting, and I honestly can't believe that someone would voluntarily take up that position while simultaneously claiming that they weren't forced into it. They're claiming the tweet is false, yet they still chose to defend its content. So, is this fella here a registered child sex offender who has argued that child pornography shouldn't be illegal? Not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind, particularly in light of him voluntarily choosing to come out and defend child pornography. Can't even joke anymore. It's ridiculous how these people who are part of this clout network who all just churn out the same sort of dog shit React content. What happened here is he just was kind of forced to back himself into a corner because he's not actually allowed to disapprove of the argument there in that tweet. He's not actually allowed to disapprove of the computers are the same as child porn argument because Vorsh used it because a streamer who's bigger than him, who he needs to stay in the good graces of, has used that argument before. So even though there is a possibility here that he knows how stupid it is, he just has to defend this argument. Even though he could just say the tweet is fake, I didn't say that, I don't agree with its contents. He says it's fake and then he agrees with it and just backs himself into a corner of defending the obviously indefensible. This is the territory that being a 2-bit Xanderhal clone takes you. Straight into the path of self-incrimination without even apparently realizing that you're doing it. Anyway, yeah, I just want to reiterate that everything said here, aside from him making a very, very weird argument against making child porn illegal, is not confirmed, but worth keeping in mind.